If the first game breaks, we'll get you loaded up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win. First year game, we're here for the first May. Carry 5 teams every 6 minutes.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Unbelievable place. Great university. Knoxville's unbelievable city, great people. The passion for football is even greater than I thought it would be. And man, you know, Neyland Stadium, I said it, you know, a couple of years ago, and I still think it's the best football experience for a college football fan or a player in the country.
I've said it from when I got here. The expectation, the standard is to play elite defense here, not just good defense. This is the home of Eric Berry, Al Wilson, Reggie White. The standard is to be elite.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Coach Jay.
Man, it's game day. It is game day. It's game night. It's game night. Night game. Kentucky on the road. Bob in the chat said it's been raining. Going to be a sloppy, muddy, old-fashioned SEC slobber knocker. Coach Jay.
There we go.
You didn't really get to talk much this week. You know, you said I was running. I was avoiding you.
I was calling you out a little bit, but I couldn't call you out because you were sick, man. But I'm happy to have you back. We'll see if you can make it all the way through.
Yeah, we'll see if we can do it.
I will own everything you said, except for one thing, though, Boogie. And I don't think you even said it. I think you just kind of said it after you said what you said. But I have not given up on this season. No, in no way, shape, or form have I given up on the season. But I may have an agenda. How's the weather out there, by the way, Boogie? Out that way? You said it was raining. Has it gotten cold yet out in Tennessee?
It's that time of year where in the morning it's freezing, and then in the afternoon it's burning up. So perfect time for our HVAC unit to go out. So we freeze to death at night, and then we sweat during the day.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, in California, it never really gets cold. So it's a little hot out here in California.
Oh,
So I'll just
I've been
take
had.
off my jacket,
I've been
get
had.
ready for some warm sun.
I've been had.
California. Feels good. Feels good to be on Talkin VAWLS Network today, Boogie.
I wish
Feels
I had a
good. I'm ready
clip.
for a victory.
I wish I had a clip that would do that wardrobe change justice, but I don't have a clip. But that jersey does look clean, man. I like it.
Yeah. Got the name and everything.
I like that. Now, did you pick that up when you were out here, or did you order it?
No, I had to order it. There were no Nico jerseys at the student store. Josh Heupel went in there and said, "No Nico jerseys yet. You have to wait a year." Coach Jay, calm your dang body.
So the chat is saying somebody needs to clip that. Yeah, clip it and throw it on Twitter, and we will definitely share that out. Guys, come on in, smash the thumbs up. You know the deal. This is the fan call-in tailgate show. The link is out for Talkin VAWLS Elite and higher. Let's see who's in the chat here. William Dyers here says VAWLS by Fitty. Rebecca says love the intro. Yeah, it's the last time we could use it. Why not use it? We're demonetized now, but that's okay. I trust you guys to support what we got going on. Isaac says go Vols. Alex Short is here pulling for Florida. Man, I was messaging back and forth with Culbertson on Instagram. He's always in the chat, and he was asking who I wanted to win, and I was like, it really doesn't matter because both teams need 2 more conference losses. I guess it's probably better. It's probably working out better this way because you control the game against Georgia, but the bottom line is Tennessee is not likely going to Atlanta. Let's see.
Yeah, no, we need some things to fall our way.
A lot. Mm-hmm. You control some of it though, being able to beat Georgia, but who else? I mean, I just don't see Georgia losing to anybody not named Tennessee.
They're going to have to slip up.
Who do they play? They play Ole Miss,
Missouri, and us all back to back.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Donald Tyler Francis becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that support. You guys can hit the join button down below if you like what we do, the videos, the live streams, the community aspect, whatever it is you like about this channel, you want to support what we're building, hit that join button. Thank you, Donald, for that. Zachary for 5 says we will win the SEC championship and our bowl game and go 12-2. Sign me up for that, Zachary. That sounds like game day Zachary. That sounds like a guy that's ready to roll. He's got that faith. I love it, Zachary. Thank you for the super chat. VFL Willie for 2, Vols 45, Kentucky 17, hashtag GBO. Redwind for 5 says just spent the last half hour making a smoky gray Brew McCoy Minecraft skin. LOL. Priorities. This team misses him so much. Yeah, they are missing Brew McCoy right now. I need somebody to step up on the outside. Paul Lindsay for 10. That is not cheap. I appreciate that super chat. Hey, guys, let's get us some cats. Let's see. We got Coach Rice in the background, but he is struggling. Let's see if he gets cleaned up. And then I got one more to hit here. Thank you, Paul, for the $10. That's very generous, my man. Pride of the Southland Kennels and Farm. Is that a real business? If so, that's an epic name. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. We appreciate that support. Let's get Coach Rice on here. I had a feeling he was having some issues because he clocked in, then he clocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, now he's back. No, now he's gone. Let's talk about we don't have anybody. Nobody wants to talk to us today, Coach, and that's fine. We can sit here and talk for an hour. What does Tennessee, Kentucky mean to you? Obviously, we sell a shirt that says we're Kentucky's daddy. We all know about the streak from 1985 up through the 2000s. But what do you consider this rivalry when you hear Tennessee, Kentucky?
It's one that, of course, we all know has gotten a little more interesting as of late. And then, during the dark years, of course, we dropped a few frustrating ones, I might add, during those dark years. The game where they were playing no quarterback against us comes to mind. That was such a frustrating game. But, overall, Kentucky comes to mind. And, yeah, we're Kentucky's daddy. We sell the shirt for a reason. Seems like we've been living rent-free in their head. I think they're going to treat it like their Super Bowl today. I think they're going to put their best foot forward and lay it out on the line. Tennessee needs to show up. Listen, we haven't been the best team on the road this year, right? Let's all just raise our hand and be honest about that. We need to show up and show out. And there's lots of things from a strategic standpoint we need to do well. We need to contain the edge against the run. We haven't done a very good job against good running teams of containing that edge, especially against the trap and the pull counter. Both of those plays come to mind. So I want to make sure our defensive linemen maintain good gap integrity. But not only that, they need to be careful about getting too deep into the offensive line. Make sure they're getting ass deep and sitting down in their gap and not over pursuing and getting caught by that backside trap and blocks coming back against the grain against their face. So we do a good job of that against the run, then I feel really good about this game, Boogie, if we can stop the run.
Bob, where you going, buddy?
Oh, I'm sitting here in the customer's house waiting on them to get back, look at the work I got done so I can get paid and get out of here and get back to the house so I can catch the damn game.
That's the key. That's the key is getting paid. You got to get paid. What do you think? You're behind enemy lines up there. You're in Kentucky? You're actually in Kentucky, right?
I'm actually in Kentucky. I'm about as far away from Louisville as our Vols are from Louisville. I'm exactly the other side of Louisville from Frankfort.
So what do you hear
Lexington
up there? What do Kentuckians think about this rivalry?
Good question.
You know what? I've been so busy with work for the last month that I haven't had time to talk to anybody around here about football games. Plus, they don't want to listen to me anyway because I wear orange.
I think a lot of their fan base, just because it's almost like, oh, we're close. You know, then you always hear the comparison that Kentucky is to us what we are to Florida. And it's the truth, man. There's been so many times in this rivalry where it seemed like Tennessee probably should have lost, but they always found a way to come out with a win. Let me hit a couple more super chats here. Donovan's in the house. What's up, brother, for 5? Will Joe be consistent tonight? Can Kentucky stop our run? That's really the only 2 questions. What do you all think? That number 1 question is always going to be, I don't know, right? You have no idea what Joe Milton you're going to get. And even when he shows up, I thought the Alabama game was the best game he's played this year. He didn't play great. He played good, in my opinion. I really think him running the football helps out. Can we stop the run game? I think so. Rodney Garner's always proven he can stop the run. What do you think, Coach?
You know, I know we never truly got into it, but obviously I like Joe Milton a lot better when he's mobile, right? When he's making quick, fast reads off of his RPOs and he's aggressive in the run game, I think it can change our offense and it can benefit our offense. My problem is if I'm a defensive coordinator playing against Tennessee, I'm forcing him to his 3rd and 4th reads. And as soon as you can force him into his 3rd and 4th reads, he's useless as useless can be. So it seems like a pretty basic scouting report. So we need to be able to run the football. I know it's a little bit rainy today, but we need to be able to spread the ball and run the football and make good, sound coaching decisions based off down and distance when we're on our own side of the 50 and not on the other team's side of the 50. So I want to see a good, not only a good scheme from these coaches, but I really want to see a good game management game from these coaches. I think we need to improve on that element, but it's kind of been a mixed bag. I haven't minded our scheme. I have minded some of our coaching, game management, time management, down the distance management calls.
What's going on, Scotty? Welcome into the Tailgate Show. What do you think of that super chat there? Those 2 questions.
It's hard to put a lot of confidence in Joe, but I think we're going to see a good game managed game tonight. I don't think we're going to see I think we're going to see some big chunk plays, but he's not going to come out and throw the ball 40 times tonight. I think we're going to see him do some damage on the ground with his legs. So I think our offense primarily is going to be on the ground. I don't think they can really stop us on the ground. Sort of how they have their formations and everything set up, they don't really get off the ball hard. So I feel like we're going to be able to run 3-4 yards a clip without problem. And we're going to get big push up front. So we're going to run the ball well on him. So he doesn't have to do too much.
I'd agree with that. I just don't see a lot of, if they do throw, it's going to be more, short, maybe some screens. They might pitch it out to the running back on a run, maybe a shuffle pass here or there. There's not going to be anything real long. I think with the wet conditions it is in Kentucky right now, that ball's gonna be kind of slippery, and with our receivers the way they've been, not being able to hold on to a ball when it's dry, I wouldn't see them trying to push it when it's wet. So they're going to keep everything nice and tight. But I think they do need to keep it spread out, because every time you get everybody bunched up too much, then they can stop our run, and we need to keep it spread out so we can open up run the game.
Let me go more super chats real quick. Tyler Harrison, been a member for one month. Appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you for the support, brother. Dan Yoder for 5 says, I know this. The Vols know how not to lose. Just ask an Aggie. At first I got confused by that. I was like, did Texas A&M turn around and lose the South Carolina game? But I think he is talking about the Tennessee Texas A&M game. Will Murley for 10. Appreciate that super chat. Crazy how last year some people thought Beamer versus Coach Josh Heupel was a debate. If Milton can play decent, I think we have an easy win. Leary has been a disappointment too, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's close. Man, I just like everything about this matchup. I think Tennessee is going to be able to run the football on them, and I know what the stats say. I also know who they played the first 4 weeks of the season. So I like numbers. I like to crunch numbers. I like to talk about numbers, but they don't always tell the full story. I just like the matchup. Does anybody on this panel right now, and let me go ahead and add Ron, the Don, and Zach as well, nobody on here thinks for 1 second that Kentucky's defensive front is better than A&M or better than Alabama?
Absolutely not. It's not even a question. When you watch all you have to do is turn the film on, watch one game, and you can see that the tempo is going to kill them. They're going to get totally whipped. There's so many plays you see their defensive linemen just not coming off the ball, just taking the play off. We're going to smash them right in the mouth.
Well, that also depends on if we even play our tempo. Our tempo is not what it normally is. It's slowed down here as of late.
Yeah, by about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's still fast.
And that's noticeable.
It's still in the top 10 of speed of offenses, but 3 seconds is a long time in your pre-snap. When you're trying to catch people, with their cleats not in the grass, is all the other coaches like to say, right? Because that's what that's about. Is just causing them to make quick decisions. When people call you and try to scam you out of your money, right? They always want to pretend like it's a rush, right? Like they need this money right away, or you need to invest in this right away, or make a quick decision, because when you make quick decisions, you make bad decisions. Well, the same is true about Josh Heupel's offense. You want to force them into quick decisions, not so much to maybe even catch them out of position. Yeah, we might do that once or twice, but you want to force them into quick bad decisions. And 3 seconds is a lot of time, even though we're still moving quickly.
Yep. Does anybody know, I can't remember if Kentucky is artificial or is it natural turf?
Artificial.
Natural, right? Is it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's artificial.
Is it? Okay. They did a good job with it. It looked good last year then.
It may be natural, but I could have swore it's artificial because it's got the 2 different shades.
But they're going to catch a natural butt whipping today.
There you go.
Out of the stadium, man. All day, I boo-hooed and cried because I hate Alabama. I took out my daddy's little referee shirt because I know what was going on in those plays. It was pulling me to. But this week, it's sweet revenge, baby. Sweet.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
That's what we're going to do today.
I love it.
I was going to throw it to Ron the Don and get him to fire me up. I didn't even have to. He just did it on his own. I knew it was going to happen, too. I love it. I love the energy.
Solid.
Let me hit a couple more super chats real quick. Let's see. Already hit that one from Will. Matthew May for $20. That ain't cheap. That's Orange Boy. You know what we'll do? We'll play the dang clip.
Rocky Top!
Also, shout out to the Indy Kid. The Indy Kid's lurking in the chat, but he changed his name to the Tennessee Kid, so you guys can harass the Indy Kid lurking. Had a good conversation talking about Braylon Staley with the Indy Kid right before we went live. Matthew May for $20. That ain't cheap, says GBO. Run the dang ball. I'm with you, Matthew. I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a healthy dose. And it was somebody on VolQuest. I can't remember if it was AP, if it was Hubs. Somebody talked about the running back room and how the depth of that running back room, right? We talk about Kentucky's big lone stud running back and what he's done and how he ran for 280. Ray Davis ran for 280 against Florida. Tennessee's got 3 stud running backs, and that depth is ultimately going to pay off as this game gets late into the 3rd and 4th quarter. Tucker White for 5. Thank you for the super chat. As the lone Tennessee fan from a family of Kentucky fans, the battle for the beer barrel matters the most to me. Well, next to Florida. How are you in a family of Kentucky fans? Are they just basketball fans that just pretend to care about football? Like, I don't know. I know one real Kentucky fan, and he's an idiot. So I just don't know any real Kentucky football fans. It's so funny. It's so comical. But you'll be celebrating tonight, I hope. Teddy Coleman for 10. Boogie, I don't understand why so many of our fans seem to think that we don't have anything to play for the rest of the season. Maybe they are just fair weather fans. Go Big Orange. Matt, you just dropped in here. What are your thoughts on that statement, on that comment, not having anything to play for? I don't know if it's fair weather fans or if it's spoiled fans, entitled fans, something.
I think it's confused fans more than anything. Do they not forget the last 15 years of this existence of this football team? Right? Winning in one season.
He must be from West Tennessee.
Entitled so quick. But, I mean, I disagree 100%. I think you went out, and obviously today you didn't get it from Florida, Georgia. But, looking at that schedule for Georgia over the next 3 weeks is not what it looked like early in the season. I think Missouri is not as good as they seem to be. But Ole Miss coming in there with Lane, you never know, But realistically, guys, we talked about 9-3 before the season. And, I think when you go and you lose to your two biggest rivals, I think that dampens the fan base a little bit, right? But we have a chance, the opportunity to right some wrongs. And you get Georgia on the toughest game of their schedule all year long to come into your building, and they've got 3 weeks. But you got to beat Kentucky tonight, take care of UConn for homecoming, go to Missouri the following week, and then play for the rest of the season. If you go 10-2 and you're in New Year's 6, but guys, we just saw some craziness happen today. I mean, Oklahoma lost to Kansas on the road. You never know in this league, so you never know in any football. So I completely disagree. I think it's still a ton to play for, an opportunity to set the legacy for what Heupel's already set to move forward into the 24-25 season as well.
Yeah, number one, I'm going to be showing up if we haven't won a football game. Like, this is Saturday football. Watching Tennessee plays about the best thing there is to do. So, I feel like there's a lot of fair weather fans that are involved there. But the truth is, Missouri's didn't they beat Georgia last year, or they played real solid against Georgia last year?
They played real solid.
Yeah.
He played solid.
I mean, could they not beat Georgia? Absolutely. Georgia's beatable. I mean, it's not that they're unbeatable. I mean, crazy things could happen. We win tonight. We beat Georgia. The chances are slim of us making the SEC championship game, but, I mean, who cares? Let Georgia come into the building and let's smack them in the mouth. And, that's a lot to play for just in itself in that one game. Be the spoiler.
If Missouri beats Georgia, we got everything to play for that next Saturday then.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got everything to play for every Saturday.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying if Missouri beats Georgia and then we beat Missouri, that next week we'll have everything to play for if that's the way it rolls out.
Yeah, Georgia still has to lose a conference game.
Yeah.
They're going to lose another conference game. Not this Georgia game ain't going to be the only conference game that they lose. Georgia, man, Missouri and Ole Miss at home, they could lose either one of those games. If they get by Missouri, don't sleep on Lane Kiffin dialing something up for Georgia.
Yeah, Ole Miss has got something for him.
Yeah,
Lane's got enough in his pocketbook to make that game a 3-point game going into the fourth quarter. Also enough to make that a 33-point game going into the fourth quarter, because as crazy as that man is. But I'll be watching that one, that's for sure.
Yeah, pay no mind to what those long-tailed swamp toads are doing today against Georgia. That's just ridiculous. How we lost to them is embarrassing. But they are beatable. And Lane Kiffin has some messages in his DM that he can do it. He should do it. Why not? What does he got to lose? He's been an idiot before. Hey, bounce the idiot clue and win one. Beat them dogs.
Yeah, they need to go beat the dogs. I never was too worried about Florida. Even last week, I always kind of saw it that they had a minimum of 3 more losses on their season going into this game. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in heck that they beat Florida State. I know that's out of conference, so it doesn't really affect us. But I don't see them winning at LSU either, and I didn't see them winning. Wasn't really worried about Florida. It was just kind of a matter of how many losses they were going to end up. But we're going to need a little help. But look, you're always playing for the power T, and you're always playing for the forwarding of this football program as a whole. So let's never never lose sight of that as volunteer fans.
I think even too,
Without a
Coach
doubt.
Jay, that visitor list coming to Neyland on November 18th
Huge.
is
Yep.
worth the game itself. I mean,
Absolutely.
you know, that the recruiting never stops. We talk about that. It never, ever stops. And you've got some dogs coming. You put up a good fight against those guys. We already saw what the South Carolina win at home did. You know, you go back and you listen to these kids that have committed. They talk about the atmosphere, the night games, and Neyland, right? The who's who of all who's who is going to be in Knoxville on November 18th. So, but absolutely, there's stuff to play for. And the Battle of the Beer Barrel is the first step.
It's a huge
Well, here's the
step.
thing from-
And I want to let me hit some super chats. I want to come back to that because this is a huge step. Papa J drops a $5 super sticker. I can't see what it is. It's probably a dancing pair, usually with a headband on. I don't know what super stickers are all about, but I appreciate you, Papa J. Captain Woodland for 2, seeing lots of orange around in Jackson, Tennessee. GBO. Paul Lindsay drops a $10 super sticker. Again, I can't see him on StreamYard. Maybe one of these days they'll fix it where you can see not only that, but you can see the custom Talkin VAWLS emojis when you guys drop them. I would love for them to get that fixed as well. Alex Gibbs drops a 20 spot. That ain't cheap. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. And guess what? It's orange, boys.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Appreciate that, Alex. Very, very generous donation, my man, especially not to say anything, just a tip in the old tip jar. Matt said this is, it starts with this game. That's the biggest concern to me is if, and I don't expect Tennessee to lose this game. I like the matchup. But if they lose, all of a sudden, the rest of the way gets a whole lot more difficult, right? You look at it right now, Tennessee comes out of this with a win. You're going to win at homecoming. Then you got a tough game against Missouri. But worst case scenario, you finish the season at 8-4. You lose this game to Kentucky, that 8-4, all of a sudden, now you're saying best case 9-3, worst case 7-5. Some of us said it was borderline to consider this season a success. What is it? 8 wins, 7 wins, where you say that's not. That is a step backwards. I was not expecting to go win 10 or 11 games this year, but I dang sure wouldn't be satisfied with 7 either.
No.
7-5 is definitely a step back.
Yeah, it's a step back, and we knew we would get a step back, right? And, to me, it's just blaringly obvious why that step back has taken place, guys. Our defense has taken a step forward, right?
Yeah.
Our running game has taken a step forward. But listen, I'm not going to pull any punches here. Look, we're 79th right now, 79th in the country of passing yards per attempt. We're 75th in passing offense. Joe Milton is 55th in passing yards. He's 61st in passing efficiency behind ding, 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 Vanderbilt and Georgia State. So Joe Milton, with this offense at his control, look around, guys. He hasn't been burning our passing efficiency. He burnt it. It's burnt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Run the
the
ball. Run
toughest
the
part,
ball.
absolutely. The toughest part is you see the box score and you see the completion percentage and you see that he's not putting up the stats, but that's only part of the equation. The other part of the equation is how much of the game do they call not for him? How much of the game, how many plays do we see that he affects because he's not throwing the football? So that's what holds this offense back is we can't take that next step and be lethal, to stay balanced.
On top of that, too, guys, it's not Jalen Hyatt and Brew McCoy running down through the middle either. They're not getting open. I mean, if you go back and rewatch some of these games, which I've done, the separation is not there. And Joe fitting stuff in tight windows is not his strong point either. So it's a combination of the two things. I think the Brew McCoy injury really, goes back and it really hurts you. If you go back and look at it, he was starting to evolve and making tough catches, and he was our first down weapon on third down. We said it in the pregame last week. We said it again this week. They need somebody other than Squirrel to step up, and who's that going to be? Is it a freshman? Is it going to be, Ramel? I don't know, but as of right now, we haven't seen it. And listening to everything this week, the last 2 times we've played Kentucky, we've punched him in the mouth with deep plays. The last time we were there, we had 2 75-yard touchdowns in the first 2 minutes. Last year in Neyland, we had big play after big play. Scotty and I were there together at that game last year. that's not been this team's strong suit. So what does it look like tonight? And I'm extremely interested to watch Joe tonight on the road again, and what they think is a hostile environment in Lexington, but it's not. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, I agree that the receivers need to step up. We don't have that right now. We don't see that NFL talent at wide receiver, but the truth is Joe's hesitant. He's not trying to get it down the field. He's not taking those deep shots when he has opportunities just to even give the receiver a chance. So it's hard to even call the receivers out when you got a quarterback that can't even throw in the intermediate passing area. Like we've seen like less than 5 slants all year. Like that offense, our offense in the short, in the intermediate area and the deep game is just gone. If it's not a check down or a screen, we can't throw it.
But to steal a phrase from Coach Jay, 2 things can be true, right?
That's true.
The receivers aren't helping Joe Milton, and Joe Milton dang sure ain't helping the receivers, and he's not helping play calling either, right? I mean, it's what Scotty says true. They're handcuffed.
Yeah, and there's such a thing as throwing wide receivers open as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Hendon Hooker was good at it. Joe is not, and I think that's indicative of that, passing yard per completion ranking of Tennessee of 85th right now, because he's just, he's just not doing a good job of throwing his wide receivers open either. But
yeah,
go
it's
ahead,
all
Coach.
about.
Sorry.
No, you're all right. It's all about his read. Like he may make the right read, but at that time he makes it late. And if you make it on time, or with the you see these the greatest quarterbacks, they're throwing the ball before the wide receiver has even made the last step in his route, and he's turning the balls on him. So that's throwing your wide receivers open, like you said, Coach Jay. And so that's the process we got to get better at if we're going to finish the season like we want to finish. Do we think Joe can do it? No, he's a 6-year senior. I just don't think it's in him. I think he just reads the field too. I mean, he may, like I said, he may make the right decision at the end, but it's just too late. He makes it too late. So he may read the defense right, but we've seen cases where he doesn't read the defense right.
Yep. Especially if the primary option is covered.
Yeah, I think the main thing we gotta get for tonight is we got to run the ball for 175 yards plus for us to really control this guy. I think if we run the ball for 175 yards plus, we win this by 14 or 17 plus. I just don't think Kentucky's gonna be able to score enough with us to.
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. We need to run the ball. Listen, Joe Milton's completion percentage is 1.2% better than Harrison Bailey's right now.
Better than Devin Leary's too.
Sorry, but
is this all your research for Friday?
Oh, you did? Yeah. I was gonna put it on you, baby. I'm sorry.
I knew it was coming. And I'm like, all the flag I got because I couldn't even speak. Like, I could not speak. And I text Coach Jay like 90 minutes before we have to go live. I'm like, dude, I can't talk right now. And he's like, I understand. And then he's like, get to feeling better. And then I sign on Twitter like 3 hours later to just a flood of hate messages from people. Oh,
it was the Tuesday night stream, Boogie.
I think it was. I think that's what set it off.
Oh no! Friday morning, I had all my Milton stats ready. I was flying to the shoot with Red Bulls in hand. I was ready to get going. Nico jersey underneath the jacket.
Completely derailed.
Y'all, I'm sitting here watching the Louisville game, and I don't know how far Louisville is from Lexington. It is absolutely coming a downpour in Louisville right now. I mean, come an absolute downpour.
Shocker, it's raining in Kentucky when we play them.
Yeah, it is not pretty at all.
What do you think that plays into their advantage? Do you think that plays into Kentucky's advantage or Tennessee's? We know they both want to run the football.
I think it plays into
line.
Yeah, better defensive line. Exactly. I think it plays into our advantage.
Talking weather. I'm going to look up the weather report.
Yeah. Well, no matter what, we're going to space the field to open up run lanes. Kentucky likes to compact the formation, and if we know they're going to run the ball, we can load the box. They can't just automatically assume that we're going to run the ball and load the box with our spread formation. Even if they know we're going to run, they still can't do it. is the exact opposite for them. They run those compact formation, lots of tight ends, lots of multiple personnel. They're gonna have we can load the box a little better and be ready for the run more than they can.
Yep, 2 slips and a dips in the rain, and you're in the clear. That's just normally what it is. That's why defense is so important on these bad weather days. Defense will take over.
Exactly.
We're too strong at our interior defensive line, and I don't see how their line's going to be able to push us around much. I mean, they don't get me wrong. Their running back is solid. He's 217, 5'10", and runs behind his pads really well. He's got a nice little one cut and can get up the field, but he's not got game breaking speed. So you just got to keep him bottled up. And I honestly, if we could pick one stat of like what I think is going to happen tonight that's going to like solidify victory, I think we're going to hold him under 100 yards rushing.
It's like 10% chance of rain at kickoff, and it'll be around 40% by the end. So who knows what that means. Let me catch up on some super chats. Chex Mix for 5. When will Keenan Peely be back? They said mid-October, and we're heading into November. Some people speculated that he may not ever be back. So we'll see. Definitely missing him on the inside. Lazy Llamas for $20. Speaking of that super chat feature, I'm glad to see that, buddy. That's an Orange Boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Lazy Llama says, Rocky Top, let's take care of business. Can't wait for kickoff. We're going to take you all the way up to it. We're 23-ish minutes away from kickoff. Teddy Coleman drops a 20 spot. That's also an Orange Boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Teddy says, Boogie, I just wanted to tell you how much I enjoy your show, VFL. Well, thank you for that, Teddy. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the kind words. I love this community, man. I told the story a week or two ago. A buddy of mine messaged me and said that one of his friends was talking about Tennessee football and said, you need to check out this show. It's called Talkin VAWLS. And the guy's like, yeah, my buddy runs that channel. And they were like, they said this was their favorite part of the channel. Tailgate shows, Sunday shows, said it felt like their buddies just sitting around, drinking beer, talking Tennessee football. The community, man, I'm glad you appreciate what I do and the work that I put in, but the community is what makes this thing run the way it runs. So thank you for the super chat and the kind words. Who did I cut off? Somebody can talk.
What do y'all think our DB is going to look like tonight? I know we got Kamal Haddon out. I think Austin Price said in the 2-minute drill, Nico Slaughter is going to be the guy to step up. They also said they don't know how much percent Gabe Judy Lally is as far as they think he's going to give it a go, but they don't know how much he'll actually be, in the game. So does that mean Ricky Gibson or Brandon Turnage steps up? I think it'll be more Brandon Turnage to start the game, but I'd like to see, especially if we get a lead a lot of Ricky Gibson.
How far down the depth chart is Warren Burrell right now? I mean, he's gone.
He's down there. And I think I mentioned, I think it was maybe last week that I wanted to start seeing Ricky Gibson come Kentucky week. Mm-hmm. So I'd love to see that too. But Coach Rice, and gosh dang it, I think you know this as well as I do. But in football, when something is taken from you, it usually gives you something as well. Mm. And I think Slaughter his name escaped me. Turnage. I think you do lose a little something in the pass defense, but I think you gain a lot in the run support, which will serve us in this Kentucky game.
Well, shoot, these are the exact two corners we had to start last year. So, Turnage really played great in that game. This was Danico Slaughter's coming out party. Mm-hmm. So, in this game last year. So, and like you said, Danico Slaughter, and it really shows in run support with him because of his, safety prowess and his tackling ability.
I mean, I don't think you're realistically the way Leary's played. Now, you never know with him. You never know with anything, obviously. But the way Leary's played, I'm not worried if I'm Tennessee about Devin Leary beating me. So, the Turnage and Slaughter, combo, I think comes out to help you more because of the run support tonight. If we can stop Bray Davis and you make him beat you with the defensive line and the way we have the ability to get after the quarterback, that's going to give you a really good chance to win the ball game tonight. Because I think the defensive line, even though they say Kentucky's offensive line is improved some. Watch them against good defensive lines. They've been awful. They've gotten their butts handed to them. And we've got one of the best in the SEC, boys. So I expect, our edges and our cheetah packages to get after him all night tonight.
Missouri killed Kentucky with stunts. I mean, killed Kentucky with
Yep.
stunts.
So did
Absolutely
Georgia.
fooled
Georgia
them.
killed them with 4.
Georgia's Georgia, but Missouri. We're better in Missouri, and I mean, we could be better in Georgia as far as our front line goes. But I'm telling you, for Missouri to get home like they did, I'm just not worried about us not being able to get home.
I'm looking at the numbers right now. Missouri had 4 sacks, 6 TFLs. I'm trying to see what Georgia did against them. Because who else has Kentucky played? Their first 4 games of the season.
Piece of cake.
Yeah,
Florida.
their first 4 games of the season were a joke.
We're all MAC teams.
See what Kentucky did. Let's see. They had 3 sacks and 4 tackles for loss. So what's that? 7 sacks in 2 games. I think they've only given up 11 sacks the entire year. So two legit D lines. You're getting home. I think, man, this Tennessee defensive line. I think they're the best in the SEC. There, I said it. They are.
I agree.
Maybe I'll get proven wrong when Georgia comes to town, but I'm going to say it for now.
I agree with you, Boogie.
Yep.
I think they're one of the deepest lines in the SEC too. That's what's so impressive with what they've done in the last 2 years under this new staff. Is Rodney Garner has brought in some dudes, and there's more dudes coming. If you go back 3 years ago, our defensive line was not anywhere close to 6 deep, much less 12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he legitimately runs 12. And I was at our local high school game the other night and run into Karat Garland's mom and dad. Their youngest son is a junior now at Union Grove High School here in Georgia, in McDonough, and that's where I live. And the dad was just talking to me about how impressed he is with Rodney Garner and what the mindset change he's put into the kids, and how much they love playing for him, how tough he is on them. But the fact that they play 33 to 34 snaps a game and all levels, all 3 rotations are just as effective. That's what's so impressive about this team. So I expect the D-line to get after Leary and stop the run. I don't think Kentucky scores much tonight.
Who would have thought going into this year that we'd be talking about Tyler Barron, right? Like preseason, we're saying, are we going to finally get something from Tyler Barron? But then, you mentioned Karat Garland. He is having a quiet, good little season. Bryson Eason. These are guys that it's not like James Pierce, right? We're expecting James Pierce to be something. We're expecting Joshua Josephs to be something. But some of these guys that were already here that Rodney's developed in such a short amount of time. And, a lot of people know who Rodney Garner is. They know who he's put in the league. But when he does it at Tennessee, and now it's a sales pitch for Tennessee, they're lining up to come play here.
Well, I mean, look, we got Weathersby, who he was going to be playing this year or something before he got hurt. You got Tyree West, who hasn't been playing much, but we've seen what he could do. You got David Hobbs. He's got a little bit of experience. We ain't seen him much lately. All these young guys that are, showed promise and are just going to keep getting developed by Gardner. And then you got guys like Jordan Ross coming in and then, other guys. Dude, we are set for in the future, and don't even get me on. That's not even including the money luxury of edge guys we got. So, I mean, our defense for years to come is going to be, getting after quarterbacks, and they're going to fear this D line without a doubt.
Yeah, that's all we want is consistent D line play. Be consistent play. That's what coaches want. Even if you're not the best. You were playing consistently on a regular basis. They can scheme around that. Now, we just happen to have some beasts out there that we can turn loose like ravaged dogs. But anytime you have, because it's the same with the offense. If the offense played consistently every day for 4 quarters, you'd be amazed what you can get a team to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the SEC's won in the trenches. So we got the defensive line, looking right. If we can get – and, dude, I'm telling you, we pulled Jordan Seaton – that offensive line next couple of years is going. I'm telling you, we're going to be the most feared trench team in the SEC.
He said 55% this week.
Yep.
It's what he said.
Did he really? I know he loves those percentages. What scares me though is the misses between year one with Heupel and now, right? It's like we've been getting the defensive line guys. The offensive line, it's been hit or miss. You've got Sham. Who else? Vice and Lang. You're going to lean on Vice and Lang to maybe be center next year if Cooper is gone. Addison Nichols, I don't know if he ends up at center or guard. You just don't have a lot of depth there on the offensive line. But Coach Rice, I mean, this class.
We're going to.
But my gosh, how many times, right? How many times in the last couple of years, all offseason, it's like, well, go get some guys in the portal. And then it's whiff. And, you had Carrick. You got John Campbell. I think that speaks volumes, that two guys that were going to be starters. I don't know if is Andrej Carrick back tonight? Has anybody seen?
I haven't seen.
I still doubt he plays. I think at this point they're just going to – I mean, he may play a series or two, but I think Ollie Lane's just going to finish out the season. I mean, I think, John Campbell, I think he's the main guy other than Cooper Mays you want to see come back next year. I mean, he's played – I mean, he's had a couple, plays here and there where he's not had his best performance, but, consistency at left tackle, that's major. And that's for any team. So having him come back next year would be major.
Let me hit a couple real quick here, and then we'll go. Raven Gaming for 5 says, Dorfy, let's go Boogie and GBO. Appreciate that, Raven. Dan Yoder gifts a Talkin VAWLS membership. So I appreciate that. Somebody in the chat won a free membership courtesy of Dan, so we appreciate that. Scotty, go ahead, buddy.
I think that I lost my train of thought. I think that I think we're going to see a lot of people come back. This team is exciting. Nico, he's the real deal, and he's going to elevate this offense. I feel like the energy, the momentum, and that's why it's so important to keep the season together. Because if you keep that momentum rolling, you win a solid bowl game. I'd love to see a lot of these kids come back, and I think that the future is bright, bright, bright. If you told me 3 years ago we'd be sitting here having these discussions and have had the year like we had last year, I would have laughed.
What's the magic number, though? What's the number where this class of 24 falls apart and people start looking elsewhere? It's got to be bad.
7 and 5.
You think they do it 7 and 5?
7.
I think we'll start losing a couple guys at 7 and 5.
Yeah,
we won't lose everybody like the hard, but we will lose a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think you could lose a couple at 7 and 5. We'll see who stays, but I'll tell you this: if I was a coach last year, and what I have to sell is coming to block for Joe Milton or coming to block for Nico, I mean, who wouldn't want to sell Nico? Let's be honest, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I start putting on my tinfoil hat and saying, Josh Heupel doesn't want to throw Nico out there too early, regardless of how ready he is, right? It's so eerie to me that all of us are in agreement. Like, I think you ask any of the 6 of us, who you starting out, let's throw Nico out there, see what happens. But for whatever reason, Josh Heupel's rolling with Joe Milton, and it's like, let's keep him protected. And guess what? If you go win 8 games, 9 games, that's your selling point to Cooper and to Campbell, and then it's also your selling point to the guys in the portal. Hey, you see how much better our defense got? Guess what? Now we're going to have our elite offense back because we got an $8 million man sitting back there ready to lead us to a national championship, not just an SEC championship, a national sales championship. How big is that sales pitch, Coach? If you can talk Nico, when you've not seen him.
I still think it's big. Like we've talked about it on this channel, right? How sexy is the backup quarterback, right? How sexy is the number 1 overall backup $8 million quarterback, right?
Wow.
Sexy, right? You see, yeah, right? You got Coach Shea over here wearing his jersey.
Making me want to buy one. I'm going to buy 7
There
jerseys.
There you go. Yeah, but listen, it helps. But I hear what you're saying. I think Heupel's looking at Nico and going, hey, look, this kid's almost going to have 2 years in this system. Our defense, look at the maturation our defense has taken, and they're only going to get better between this year and next year. And now all of a sudden you have the opportunity with a sophomore that's almost a junior to hit the ground running. You kind of can start to understand maybe where Coach Heupel's mind's been at.
Man, part of me wants to say, and I know this is bad, but Joe Milton, last play of the game against Kentucky. We're up 40-13. Go down with a little thump. Go down with a little.
Don't say.
Go down with
a little thumb. He doesn't want him to get really hurt.
Sprain.
Boogie. Just a little
thumb. Just a little thumb
pinky.
sprain where
On
he
the throwing
throw.
hands, right? On the
On the
throwing
throwing
hand.
hand. And Nico take over next week, and then Joe can come back. Just give me the UConn. Just please, the UConn game. That's all I want to see. I mean,
and I just want to see him, period.
Game.
I just want to see him. He has not had – people are like, oh, he got a chance and he didn't do anything. He didn't really get a chance, man. He did not get a chance. Yeah. There was no chance.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think we see Nico in the fourth for a couple drives today. I think we're going to be up big. I think we're going to see him for a couple drives. We're going to destroy this team, man.
I wish I had that confidence. I like the matchup, but I don't have that confidence where I'm expecting to see Nico tonight. I would love nothing more. Make me happy.
But everybody knows that we have a cerebral player like Nico on the sideline. Even though he's not in the game playing, he's playing it in his mind. He's going to practice. He's watching everything that Joe does and does not do. I guarantee it, he's taking that like a little bit of counter. So when he gets his chance next year, oh man, it's gonna be grits and gravy and crying babies. We're gonna be running all of them over.
Oh man, you get me running through a wall. Ron. You get me running through a wall.
Let's go. It's 9 minutes till kickoff, and Ron's giving us the pregame pep talk. I love it. I'm here for it.
Y'all want to see something funny? Go watch the KSR pre-thing. I had them guys pissed off.
Oh, were you in the chat of it?
Yeah, I was in the chat. I had them so pissed.
I don't understand. Like, those guys come off like this, like a fan channel, basically. But they're so, aren't they like part of On 3?
Yeah.
How in the world – can you imagine if On 3 was like, you know what, we're going to go get Boogie and his cast of clowns and characters to come over here. They're like, hey, have you seen Boogie sing on Tuesday nights? That's the guy that we need at On 3. That's the guy that we need leading the charge. Like, can you imagine? Like, look at the difference in professionalism between Hubs and his crew and that KSR group. I don't understand, man.
Not even close. Not even close.
It's hilarious, y'all.
Well, don't make us go watch it. Tell us what happened. What were they the most irritated?
I was just talking trash about how Kentucky we own Kentucky, and I was just little jabs here and there, and they're like, "Who's this dude?" And of course, I didn't have it was a different name under, but this dude, he was the main guy.
Is it Matt something?
No, Nick, the bald dude. I can't remember
Matt
his name,
Jones
but
for some reason.
he was irritated, and he was just like jabs, but it was pretty funny.
Oh my gosh, Eric Jones in the chat. What's up, Eric? Good to see you in the chat, my friend. For $2, what's up, Boogie, Coach Jay, and panel? It's the day. GBO. Thank you, Eric, for that. Appreciate that super chat. Don't forget, guys, we'll be live immediately following the game. Make sure you come back, hang out for the post-game show. Tomorrow, day after video coming bright and early. Fan call-in show tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Next week will be business as usual until Saturday. And I will have a game day video that'll go up Saturday morning, and then we will not do anything for the post-game show, tailgate show, nothing like that. I'll be hanging out in Knoxville with the family. Looking forward to that, and then we'll bounce back on Sunday. I'll do a day after video, and then we'll do the fan call-in show on Sunday. But don't forget, coming up later tonight, post-game show. You guys already know the deal. Go check out the merchandise. The link's in the description. You want to support the channel, hit the join button down below for just $1. I try to highlight these comments. All these member comments in the post-game show, try to highlight as many as possible. But let's do some predictions. Coach, you didn't even get to do a prediction because I faked being sick, so I wouldn't have to deal with your Nico nonsense.
I'm sorry.
So I'll let you kick it off. I'll let you kick it off first. Yeah, give us your little keys to the game and your prediction.
Yeah. So a little bit of slop, but I think that favors Tennessee. I think, I think a point of emphasis that you're going to see in this game actually is going to be blocking on the edge with the wide receivers. I know everyone, it's been a point of contention with that little bubble screen, but if we're spreading them out to run at them, even in the rain, especially with that bubble screen, we need our wide receivers to seal on the edge. I think they're going to put that together to get today, play a little more aggressive a game. I think we're going to run all over them. I think they're going to struggle to run the ball on us. And I have Tennessee winning 33-19. today.
That's a good little margin. I already forgot what my pick was. I think 31-20. What do you got, Scotty? Keys to the game. Give us your final score prediction.
So I think that we're going to really, really dominate them on both sides of the ball from the line standpoint, and we're going to, keep their running game under 100 yards, and we're going to run all over them for at least 250. I think we're going to see a pretty big blowout. I'm going 35-10.
I like it. I like it. Always a good time talking ball with you, Scotty. Appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yep.
All right, we'll catch you on the post game. And then I never know who's going to bump to the top. Ron the Don, you're up next. Give me something. Get me fired up. Get the chat fired up. The chat's already in love with you, man. They love you.
Okay, the keys to the game for us, we want a full 60 minutes. The same thing we did at Alabama last week. That's what I want for 60 whole minutes. Put your foot on their neck and don't let go. I've already texted my cousin, who's off at Walls, a Kentucky football great. I'm still on read. So, hey, I'm can tell you right now, we're going to do it. I love it because you're family, but we're going to spank that cat tail. It's going to be 45-17. Defense rules, offense is going to make them drool. That's my prediction.
I love it, Ron the Don. It's always a blast having you on, buddy. Hope to catch you on the post-game show. And then Ron bounces. He's like, I'm not acknowledging Boogie. I love Ron, dude. Like, he just started coming. He's been in the chat forever. Just started coming on recently. Fires me up every time. Shout out Drummer Converse upgrading his membership or updating his membership. Renewing it, guys, when those expire. Make sure you keep them up to date. I appreciate that. Shout out to Drummer Converse. Matt, what do you got? Keys to the game and your final score prediction.
Keys to the game, I think turnover battle is important tonight, as it is in every football game. But, Joe, don't go lose it. Be consistent. I think Joe running the football is a huge piece of tonight's game. They've shown that the last 2 weeks. It came out this week earlier that Heupel did confirm that he was not healthy. He seems to be healthy, and he led us with 93 yards last week. So I think Joe running the football opens up things for us more than it has the last few weeks. We hit a couple shots. It's a blowout late. 38-20 is what I said on Wednesday, and we'll stick with it. 38-20. Kentucky scores one late to make it respectable, but you still cover.
I completely forgot that you had already I can't remember who's been on. When I was texting Indy Kid earlier, he's like, dude, I never know who's going to be on that show when I tune in. It's always somebody different. And that's the beautiful thing, man. I love it. Always a good time talking ball, Matt. We'll catch you on the post-game show, buddy.
All right, buddy. Go Vols.
All right, Coach Rice.
Well, Matt kind of stole my key to the game. I think Joe. I think Joe is going to have 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns, and I think Jalen Wright runs for 140 yards. So, but I think Dylan Sampson steals 2 of his touchdowns. So, defense is going to have 2 picks and a forced fumble recovery. I'm going to go 42-24 Tennessee.
I love it, man. No, I don't think anybody on here really talks about turnovers, and I think that could be a huge swing in this football game.
Yeah, very well could be.
Always good time, Coach Rice. We'll catch up with you later, buddy.
Go Big Orange.
Let me get this super chat from Scotty for 5. Says, pleasure being on talking ball, boys. Go Vols. Appreciate that, Scotty. Always good having you on the show, my man. All right, it's almost that time. Don't forget to join us right back here immediately following the game for Talkin Vols Live. He's Coach Jay. My name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin Vols Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and